It should come up for everyone. We are live streaming. It is January 6th, 2022. We're progressing into January slowly. Great to see so many of you here with us today. I'll say hello again and welcome. Great to see you. Patricia's here. She's back for good, she says. Never disappearing on us again. Elizabeth's here. Great to see you. Deborah's here. Wonderful. Great to have you back. Susan. Hi, Susan. Great to see you here. We've got iPhone in the back there. I see a nice little, oh, there you are. Hi. If you want me to know what your name is, you need to change it in the little box there. Scott's with us with his hot air balloons. That's fantastic. Great to have you here early morning for Scott. So we really appreciate it when you join. Jamie, welcome. Sibu, also early morning for Sibu. So you're not alone. I think she's in New Zealand, if I remember correctly. Catherine, hey, Catherine Martin, great to see you here. Joseph, Sabina, and Amber. I miss seeing you live, Amber, but I respect everyone in their own life and what's going on. So Patricia, hi, and Joan, and Rima, and Bonnie, and Alana. Hey, Alana, you came back. Great to see you. Irene, Roxana. Where have you been, Roxana? We've missed you. Good to have you back. We've got Evelyn on board. And here comes Patty and Rodolfo and many other students joining. You're having a snack, no worries. I'm just saying, I miss seeing you live with your nice little background that always, interesting. The things that we get used to and make us feel happy. Irene is here. Great to see you, Irene. Here's Rodolfo. Happy to see you here. All right. And here's Deborah. I was wondering if you're going to make it, Deborah. This is your requested topic here, which is a fantastic topic. And it's one that we have talked about before. Deborah was asking last time on the chat. First, I just want to say welcome to anybody that's new to the Low Hanging System. These are our daily success calls. I'm really happy to be here with you. My name is Karen Asulin. We lead these calls, John Lavinia and I together. He was here yesterday, I'm here today, and he'll be with you tomorrow on Fun Friday. And so these calls are all about the mindset, how to create, how to become the person you want to be so that you become the business owner that you want to be, how to live the life that you want to live intentionally. We read books together and we discuss them. And so it's really a fantastic time. And we consider ourselves an extended family. That's why we know each other so well. We share stories from our lifetime, and it just encourages all of us to move forward. It's a very supportive community. So if it is your first time on the call, definitely feel free to speak up. Every word that you have to say is so important. You can't even imagine how much just one word will transform someone's world. And really we have that effect on each other, and it's really profound. So excited to be here with all of you. And so now to our topic. So Deborah had asked last time that we were here, which was Tuesday, she kind of put in the chat, she was like, can we talk about fear of success and fear of failure? I think that that's such an important topic. And it is one that I have spoken about before, but of course, there's always more to say. And when we think about fear of failure, we'll start with that one, because ultimately, I'm giving you the end right at the beginning, right? So ultimately, the failure leads to the success. So it's kind of one and the same there. And so this idea of, first of all, defining what is failure, that's such a heavy word, a strong and powerful word. And on these calls, we often purposely choose different words in order to help us along the way so that we can create, the life that we want for ourselves. And so this idea of what is a failure might stem from something in our childhood or something as we were growing up. Maybe someone said, looked at us and say, oh, you're a failure, or that's just, you're failing at that, or, even grades, right? You're failing classes. You can fail classes or fail grades or fail semesters. And so really that idea of failure has always, let's speak generally, right? It is in general thought of as a negative thing. This is not a positive thing. If you are failing, you're in some kind of trouble and you need some kind of help. And, then we can tie that into possibly, things that we were told as younger people, you are, and also, so again, those ideas of, you're failing at this, you're going to be a failure and that kind of thing. And we might have those narratives in our mind. And also, what our concept of success is. All right. Because, we can consider a failure as not having $1 million in the bank. Okay. That could be considered, we are failing at our, our financial life or business life or whatever we've created for ourselves. However, we might be succeeding in so many other realms in our life, like family, like friendship, like being a good person, like, helping out each other and all that. But that idea of money and how much money we have in the bank really can completely consume and dominate all of our thoughts. And just, in our mind, we are considered failures because the money in our bank account does not amount to a certain level that we have set up for ourselves of what defines success and failure. And that's an interesting thing to look at. Okay. And so we have to, when we're looking at ourselves and our lifetime and our programming and what things work for us and what things don't. And we did that at the beginning of the new year, and we will continue out throughout the year doing that. We have to take a look at these standards that we've set for ourselves. What is considered a failure in your eyes? Patricia was sharing how she saved cats and she does all of these things, right? So in my mind, I mean, that is an amazing endeavor right there, right? That, just that, and I know so many other things about your lifetime and being a pilot and being in the military. So, in my eyes, I see you as this huge success story. But maybe in Patricia's eyes, she sees things a little bit differently. And of course, it is her life and how she's living it. And I'm just giving an example to make it a little bit more relatable. Each and every one of you can look at your own life and start seeing, how did you define different areas as you were moving through these time periods? And so, a job can be considered a success or a failure in our eyes. A business endeavor, such as the one that we are on now, that we've embarked on now. Many of you can stand and say, okay, well, this is only going to be considered a success once I see $1 million in my bank account. In my opinion, that's a very limited way of looking at things, right? If we just put one factor, even if you think about it, when you're making a decision, do you only make a decision based on one factor, or do you weigh, a variety of things to kind of come into your conclusion and then make your decision, right? You don't just look, it's a very narrow perspective or narrow road to travel on and just measuring things by money. And I know that many of you have come on to these calls and said, just me transforming my thoughts, my thought process, how I view the world, how I respond to the world has already I already stamped this program as a success just from these calls. So that's a big thing. That's a huge thing. And I've heard it countless times. I've been here for a while, and I've heard it countless times from many, many students. And I think that once we take that example and we're able to now look at the different areas in our life in a different lens, from a different perspective, and start, first of all, realizing, how are we determining? What are we defining? What are our, when you go to create a chart or present any data or information, you kind of put on your X and Y, you determine how you're going to make your calculations and present this data into the world. So what are you using to determine? What are you using to define these events or these areas in your life as failure or success? So once we're able to observe that, that'll give us, an insight on how we are viewing the world. And now I want to present this idea that John Maxwell, I put it here in the chat, he wrote this book, Failing Forward, and I really like this book. And he says, fail early, fail often, fail forward. And so suddenly this word failure that we have, maybe colored in a certain color in our mind, and really started, pushing tags on things, and really, demonized, made this such a such a space where we never want to enter. We don't want to go into the space of failure. We don't want to, be associated with anything that is considered a failure. We don't want to invite that into our world. And so that kind of idea here, he's saying the opposite is true. Let's move towards that. Let's move towards failure, because, it's on the other side of that is success. If you read some of the books that we recommend, like Think and Grow Rich and Secrets of a Millionaire's Mind, and so many other books they're just not popping into my mind right now. All of them talk about the journey of successful people, and now we're measuring success as money. Okay, these books were all talking about money. Secrets of a Millionaire's Mind and Think and Grow Rich are talking to millionaires. Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, he went and interviewed millionaires, successful business people, and try to find these common grounds. So definitely we're now discussing money, the path of money, and all of them across the board failed numerous times before they reached their success, their millions. So and if you now let's bring it even closer to the future, to now, right? First of all, it's a very healthy habit to have people that you look up to, people that you admire. Especially if your gain here in the low-hanging system, and I know that all of you are looking to create money. Find someone, a millionaire that you look up to, someone that you admire, someone that you really want to create similar things in your lifetime, or that you can relate to. That's a better word. And then look at their history, look at their journey to their becoming a millionaire. And you're going to find very interesting things. You're going to find that their journey was with many challenges that they had to overcome, a lot of obstacles. And most of the time they lost everything before they got their millions, or they took a huge risk, or they were fired from some, big corporation or whatever. I mean, look at, it's always difficult on these calls to name one person, but as I'm speaking, Steve Jobs and his journey, right? That comes to mind. Just looking and listening to what he went through, with his journey and his partnership and everything falling to the ground into Apple. And what I'm speaking to you, my computer is an Apple, and I use an iPhone, and what he created for us. It's just huge. And we use that till today. And there are many examples like these. I want you to choose your own. That's why I try not to give so many examples, not to paint a certain picture into your mind, because we are all so different in the what we admire and what we value. And I think it is important that you go out and you find someone, or maybe you already have it, most likely you already have someone, could be even, people now idolize movie stars, right? It's funny, but yeah, it could be that kind of journey, or someone that you really look up to, and you look at their journey, and you'll see that it was not, they didn't just start walking up the hill until they reached the summit of the mountain. It was up and down and up and down and up and down and curving around and then falling down a little bit and coming back up. It is, it always has challenges on the way. And so this idea by John Maxwell, he talks about getting comfortable with the failure. So, what I'm basically saying now is to be able to see this word, this idea of failure in a totally different light. Change the color, change the color that you have around this idea, change the attachments. And it might take you some time. It might take some work and some observation. Where does it come up for you? Where did you hear it first? Can you, reprogram that idea? Who put that idea into your mind? And does it even resonate with who you are today? Oftentimes we just take these, we kind of fill our backpack with all kinds of ideas, and we're, walking up the hill, and it becomes so heavy that it's literally pulling us back. And then we start to look at the things in our backpack. They don't even belong to us. We don't need them. We might be walking up with china that we got from our grandmother, and it's not going to serve us at the top of the mountain. You know what I mean? Like, that's just kind of giving you a visual. And so maybe this idea of failure and what failure is, it's not even yours, and you don't need it anymore. So what can you reprogram it with? So I have this this picture that I downloaded from the internet. I'm going to share with you. Let's see, share screen. Okay, share screen right here. All right. And so it shows us here, let's try to clear out all of this. It shows us here, the spectrum of success. So I think, when we were growing up, or maybe at some point in our lives, we kind of thought that, failure, is kind of at the bottom, being average is at the middle, right? We hear middle class, and then above that would be success. And it's just kind of this spectrum that we put things on, and we just see it kind of like a ladder, very linear. And really, what is the actual, the path to success looks a little bit like this. So average to failure to success. And so, that can give you a different way of viewing, your idea of failure. So if you can create another, and you look, they even colored it red, right? So, that might be something that you associate failure with. Can you give it a different color? Can you see it as maybe a lighter shade of green? Success, and now we're talking about success as money, okay? So if money is colored green because we're in America, even though the money doesn't look so, like the $100 bill is not so green anymore, right? But let's say, just for our mind, just for our subconscious, if it's green and it's dark green, then we can give this a lighter shade of green. Like, oh, it's my path to it. Maybe it's a little bit yellow or orange, or something that's not so, like, red is alert. It's like, watch out, right? Even on the road, the signs are, don't come here, stop, watch out. That is kind of that. So how can we repattern and change it into something that can help us, that can lead us where we want to go? So that's one of the ways. And maybe for each and every one of you, you're going to have a little bit of different kind of digging. And I'd love to hear from you in just a moment about that. What kind of attachment? He's ready. Scott is ready. I love it. No, I love it. I really appreciate it. And so, I just want to add a little bit of talk about, what we can do, because if we first of all come out the bat and say failure cannot be avoided. Okay. It can be avoided if we just sit in our room and never leave and don't do anything and don't attempt to do nothing. And we just stay, then maybe we can avoid failure. But even then, I will tell you, usually not, because that state of just being paused and not doing anything will usually lead to, a series of events after that. And so if we see failure as a stepping, maybe that would be a good one for you. If you put this diagram, Eddie, you made it, as like a ladder or a staircase, and you're just stepping up. And so it's one more step up. That would be, a healthier way of looking at it. And, oftentimes you might not even be, it might not even be your fault, right? You could have opened a business and COVID hit and then you had to close it. Or, the government came out with some kind of issue and you couldn't continue on the path that you were on. You got into an accident and you lost some state of health or state of mind or whatever, and you couldn't continue. So sometimes, it's out of our hands. Things happen around us, and just there are outcomes and challenges that we need to deal with. But we're definitely responsible for our success. We are. And that's what we're here to do. And that's kind of where I want to end my talk before I give you the floor, is that idea of success, is that we can now look at these occurrences in our lifetimes and look at them as knowledge that is so instrumental to success. Once we take this knowledge that we learned and we apply it to our life moving forward, that becomes wisdom. We're gaining wisdom all throughout these occurrences in our lives. We gain wisdom and they make us who we are today. And we have to essentially, if we want to change where we are now, yes, with money as well, and with any other thing that you want to change in your lifetime, we have to overcome this fear of failure as well as fear of success. We have to be able to see ourselves in this place of long-term success of where we want to be. If you have that idol in your mind, how does it feel when you own all of, the mansion that you want, or you can go on your traveling trips, or you can help and create a foundation, or whatever your dreams are. Remember, you have your goals, they're laid out, you know where you're headed. What does it feel like to be there already? Right? What does it feel to be there? You're not going to be there when you have all of those things. Your state of mind, your look at your life and your achievements will have transformed. So what does that look like? And how does it feel for you? Those are things that you want to explore right now, because we have to be able to transform this fear of failure in order to move into, long-term success. And it really comes down to, making the most out of the opportunities that come our way, clear goals, like we talk about all the time, and taking, the steps forward, moving, putting one set in front of the other. And here on these talks, we create that positive mindset together. We say that we are now grown adults. We don't have to rely on any programming that doesn't suit us to move towards our, our success, our final goal, being a millionaire, having whatever it is that we want to, our goal, achieving that goal. And just having this sense of knowing that we can arrive there, and that we deserve it. I think that's a big one. Do you feel like you deserve to be rich? Like you deserve to have all the money that you want? Money doesn't make you good or bad. It doesn't. If you're a good person today, you will be great with so much money, because you can donate, you can help others, you can create foundations, you can, just share your goodness with the people that you love and the people that are, around you that need your help. So, it really stems from, and he talks about that, T. Harv Eker, in the beginning of the book. So it's a great book if you haven't picked it up already, to really be able to look at your programming and what it is that you're afraid of. And I'm not saying, I just want to finish with this, the fear is never going to go away. Okay. We're all going to have some kind of fear inside of us. And that's okay. That's a given. That's that, black circle in the middle of the white with the yin and the yang. It's us moving either because of that fear or in spite of the fear. Okay. The fear can compel us to move forward, and we can do it anyways. Or, we just say, no matter what, I'm afraid, but I'm going to take this leap of faith. I'm going to get my mugs done. I'm going to launch my business, and I'm going to present myself and this creative business into the world. And I expect to get those buy buttons and those clicks, and that's going to come my way. So yes, so that's what I had to say here. Scott, let's hear from you on this topic.
Yes, good morning. I came across an idea from Joe Dispenza, very interesting. He said that if you have self-respect or self-esteem or self-love, however you want to rephrase it, you don't need the respect of others. And that ties into what you were saying, that the success or failure carries so much judgmental and so much judgment and so much guilt and so much moral imperative, which it really does not deserve. It really doesn't, because it becomes debilitating. It becomes so heavy on your heart and your soul that it's a wonder you can make any decision at all, because of this moral component, because in terms of your self-esteem and in terms of your intrinsic ability to achieve. And so often when we fail in the conventional sense, that destroys the person, literally can destroy them for life, because they associate what they're doing or experiencing with some intrinsic value. Well, the reality, I think, though, is quite different. Intrinsically, we don't need to succeed to be worthwhile. We were born amazing. We were born with, I believe, infinite ability. Yeah, and anything that we do or not has no bearing on that. I mean, once you take the judgment away, what do you have? You have success or failure is nothing more than an indicator of how you're celebrating life. It's just selecting it's just a course correction. Failure or success is nothing more than a course correction. It's not something that ties to yourself, ties to your intrinsic value in any way, shape, or form. It just ties to how much and to what degree you're celebrating your life. That's it. And once you take that moral heaviness out of the picture, you take this sort of parental child context out of life, and you can start really living it. in a real way. And I've seen people on the other side who are incredibly successful by many sort of parameters, and yet as people they're rotten to the core, and their success has done nothing but cause misery. And I mean, I'm in the medical context. I've seen it quite literally kill patients because of their arrogance. Arrogance is their assessment about themselves coming from their assumed success, and technically, medically, and in many ways they are successful, but as people, they are not, and that takes away the success. But they don't see it because it's so arrogant, and that arrogance becomes an actual liability and a danger in itself. And as I said, I've seen patients die because of it, and that's where the moral judgment and the moral heaviness can work both ways to give you an inflated ego or a deflated ego. In fact, ego has nothing to do with it. As I mentioned, it's just a question of how you're going to course correct to celebrate life. That's all it is. And once you take that component out of it, it's so freeing. It's so freeing, and you can actually live the way you're meant to live, not without all this emotional crap. Excuse my language, but this emotional garbage, because your life shouldn't be full of garbage. It should be full of light and celebration. That's how I think, anyway.
No, I love it. I love it. I love it, Scott. Beautiful.
Thanks, Patricia.
And I like that you acknowledge the other side of that. And again, I just want to say it's not the money that made these people, arrogant or whatever. It was that they're like the lack of doing that work of now, who are they now when they have all of this money, and what do they want to achieve, and who do they want to be? How do they want to present themselves into the world? So regardless to the amount of money in your bank, this work that we do here needs to be done. We all have to evaluate and look internally at who we are and how we want to present ourselves into the world. And, you categorize it as morals, and that's what it is. You have these sense of morals, or we call them also core values, what matters most to you in the world, and what you're willing to literally, perish for, right? It's kind of like, I stand for this with my whole heart, and I will never, allow these morals or these set of core values to be harmed. And, that this idea that we get, you talked about a lot of heavy emotions, and it really is, we can carry this shame and guilt and just burdens on us, like this heavyweight bag that just drags us down. And it can be true in both ends, with money, without money. This is so important that you all ask yourselves, what are the parameters for your success? Is it just money? Does just money define if you're successful, if you're not? How about being a good person in this world? How about, being a good parent if you have a family? How about being a good partner if you have, a spouse or whatever? I mean, there's so many parameters that you can determine if you are successful or not. It's not just in, how much money you have in the bank. That's one of them. And I truly believe, this is just kind of following you here, is once you're able to celebrate these other successes and come into what you're trying to do in your life with a light heart, with a smile on your face, being excited for the next day. Like Patricia said, I'm excited, I'm happy today. That will then transform into money. It is alchemical. And all of these books talk about it. It's not me. It's hundreds of years ago, already written. Everybody said it. You can literally transform from the ether call in and make it into money. That's, really. And if the one thing that is more complex for you at this moment is money, work on the other ones and feel successful there, and bring that energy into the money, and it will be there. So, that's, yeah. Thank you, Scott. You always get me excited. Eddie. The wonderful Eddie. We missed you on Tuesday. We felt your absence. Where are you?
Hello.
There you are.
How y'all doing? Yeah, Sunday something happened to me Sunday that had happened a long time. I actually caught a cold.
Oh.
Yeah, I did. I said, oh my gosh, I'm trying to remember the last time I had one. I said, well, dang, things must be, but I had to remember something. I got to watch what you say, because I wanted to find a way to get off from work. And I don't like telling lies that I'm sick. But I needed some time, me time. And the universe gave me what I wanted. I didn't plan this. I said, you know, because I'm general off Tuesday and Thursday. And I said, boy, if I called in Wednesday, I get 3 days in a row off. Well, I had to call in. I was so sick. God, Lord, I say, God, come on, you took me serious, didn't you? I sure did. Now, somebody's laughing about that. I spent my entire life trying to understand how the universe works. That's true. You know, failure was something I was terrified of. And the fear of failure is why you lose. It's why you fail. If you're too afraid to try, you're going to fail. You know, and I was raised up where you couldn't make mistakes. I was my father's first lieutenant because he was a single parent. I couldn't fail. So I did all the things he wanted. But when I got on my own, I didn't have him there. You know, it's like I'm looking at Patricia here. She's my buddy here. She talked about being a captain over a battalion, but she still had the brass up here. So even though she had her responsibility, they got to take the brunt, some of the stuff off her. So that's over there. When that's gone and it's just you, that's a whole different ball game. And that's what happened to me. I just freaked out. I mean, honestly, I quit high school. I made sure I didn't go to college. I left home. I just drifted in the streets and lived in my car. It took inspiration to change me. And I'm listening to, Scott always, he's always finding something to grip hold to. He grabbed these doorknobs that make serious doors open. That's a pretty good line. I got to write that down. But, but no, seriously, because it's, you got to see what you want in your imagination and enjoy the journey. That's what it's all about. Because once you get there, you go, I'm talking about people that win championships. They go, oh, we did it. And now what? Oh, we had so much fun getting here. So what they got to do? Try to go another championship. Oh, we got to win another. What's bigger than that? Then you get another one, you get another. Michael Jordan got 6 rings, and he got mad at the owner of the team because he wouldn't put together a team so they can win number 7. He got mad at him. And I'm looking at people saying that's a lot of pressure to put on yourself. But this spiritual thing tells you to decide what you want, and I show you how to easily get it. Now, it took me a long time to understand this, because like I said, I started grabbing my thoughts at 42. I just got tired of this foolishness and started doing things that they tell you not to do, talking to people they tell you not to talk to. And they are the people that actually messed you up in the first place. I'm serious. Because they all have an agenda that's contrapuntal to yours. My 3rd grade teacher wanted me to shut up. Well, that's not going to happen. Well, get out of my classroom then. And she gave me a gift because I found a comic book in a trash can. I could have kissed that lady, but you can't kiss teachers like that back then. Heck, you can't do it now. But I didn't know till about 20, 30 years later that gift that lady gave me. I did something that was crazy. I boxed in college. I'm a pacifist. I didn't like dealing with bullies, but I had to sometimes. But I boxed in college. I was scared to death of the first fight because you might lose. It wasn't about getting beat up. I didn't want to lose. And on the way to the championship, before I even got there, I got in the ring with monsters. Coach said, you can't get in the ring with people like that. That guy's a professional. I'm over there, owl, swole up, lip, but I said, but he showed me some good stuff. Well, he did. He said, young man, come on, man. You can't just let me hit you like that. You got to slip under that thing. Show me how you, show me. He said, you got to do like this. I promise you, those guys taught me some of the most beautiful things that when I got in there, I already knew emotionally. The 2 guys I was going to face were already knocked out. Because they didn't do what I did on my journey. They didn't fight who I fought. They didn't do 1,500 sit-ups a day. I'm telling y'all, they didn't. I did the equivalent of a marathon once a month. I promise you. Once a month, I did the equivalent of a marathon right in my own town. And everybody's laughing at me. You think you Muhammad Ali? No, I'm me. I made up my mind what I was gonna do something. When I got in there, I went right at them. And I always remind myself, I mean, the punches came pretty. You can still see I ain't got it still here because you don't forget it. But it's not just boxing I'm talking about, anything. I did the same thing with getting a college degree. It didn't matter I had a job, a son, and I didn't have any money. I still got what I wanted and more. Look how I speak. Those people taught me how to really lay words out. And I'm a country geechee. People laughed at the way I talk. Now they say, gosh, Eddie, you got his style. Well, you can get one too. Get your journey and ride on it. You know, I could not, I got so moved that I started working with children that everybody laughed at. I said, I'm gonna tell y'all what I know because they did the same thing to me. And I had those kids singing in front of crowds in churches. Wait a minute, those bad kids we kicked out of school. I appreciate y'all letting me have them. Because now they're getting some good teaching. Yeah. Come on. Ron Clark, The 55 Essentials. That's his book. A white boy went to Harlem and had kids just going, whoa, black kids. Who is this white boy coming to Harlem? I came to help y'all. The parents going, you? Now they buying his book. He's been on Oprah. Because he didn't listen to the crap people teaching him. Don't listen. Well, you got to listen to it because it's saying. I don't look at the news. I'm serious. I don't listen to the news. You know, COVID's going on. Everybody's, well, okay, this ain't the first time we had disease. It ain't gonna be the last. Your job is survive it. Live. I promise you. When I got the cough, I said, well, I got something going on with me. Let me go find out. I went and got a COVID test. It said negative. That's what I expected. I promise you, people, that's what I expected, but I got to satisfy other people. I expected to be healthy. Now, it took me a long time to get a grip on this. Now, this business right here, I don't want to say what I want to say about this here, but it's almost coming off my tongue. But I almost didn't come on this call, but I'm here. I got an impulse, Eddie. Get on that call. But I wouldn't get on the call. All right. I mean, this is what happens in your life when you actually say, you ask for this, now go and do what you're here to do. You did not learn to speak like this and inspire people for it to be in this little room you're in. Go do it. Okay, this just happened a few minutes ago because I'm looking at time going by. I'm not going to go on it today. And never mind why I didn't. I expect those impulses to come because I trained myself to get there. I heard that name, Joe Dispenza. Yeah. Scott's something else. But yeah, I love that guy. Come on, a guy that broke his back in 6 places and they told him he'll never walk and he's standing up telling you speeches about how come he walked. God, that's way back like Jesus. Oh, Jesus Christ. People, this is your opportunity to shine every day. You know, just get up and go ahead and do it. And do what you want. You don't have to satisfy anybody. You don't even have to satisfy yourself. Just go ahead and do it because you'll get sad. You'll go, ooh, this nice. What'll be this nice? You'll say, the people I had to apologize to Patricia. Gosh, I'm telling our business out. Patricia Street's husband. Honestly, because I was rude. Southern guy down there, he's talking to my wife. But it's like we was buddies. I said, I gotta get off the focus. My husband, no, you know, I'm a man. Don't tell me your husband all right. You're a woman talking like that. I'm a man. You talk to another photo. No, we got to talk about everything. Everything. I said, God, Lord, have mercy. She making it too interesting. How can I hang up? But this is what this is all about, people. Get in life and jump around and be happy about it. I couldn't do that at 33. I could not put, I was more crippled at 33 than I am now. And I still feel the pain back there, but I couldn't even walk past, and they picked at me. And then I decided, okay, this means something. And what it meant was slow down, Eddie, quit showing out and go and get this right. So I know what Joe Dispenza is talking about because I healed my body starting up here. Everything is up here. You get what you believe. Now, if you don't want anything, that's the truth. If you don't believe you could do this business, you won't. If you think the procedure's too tough, you won't get it. If you don't think that these calls any good, you won't come on here because that's your self-fulfilling prophecy. Say what you want and go after it. You don't have to apologize anything. That's what we're giving a body to do. Go do it all. God, I guess I'm trying to make it for all the other 2 days I wasn't here. I'm gonna be quiet. Honestly, no, I'm being quiet. I couldn't hold it back. This is one. You want to do this because this is your opportunity. Rachel Rafay got off a daggum cash register doing this right here. And I know nobody wants to run a cash register at Walmart. Nobody, I'm telling you. They hate it. And the customers hate us because we got them hate faces on them. We look at them and they're going, why are you walking by? Won't you get rich? Why are you looking at me like that? That's how we doing the job. So I know what her motivation was. So go do, get a reason why. Why? Okay, because I said so. That's start there. Then get your own. But thank you very much for the opportunity.
We love you, Eddie. We love you, Eddie. You're not allowed to miss calls anymore. It's not good for your health. I was getting worried. All that stored up energy. You got to let it out, Eddie, or it's gonna, you have to come on these calls.
It's not good for us either.
You're awesome. You're awesome. We're really happy that you're back. And, you do inspire people. It's fun to listen to you and your stories and your lifetime and everything that you've done and how, you arrived to where you are today. It's really great to have you back. We're really excited. And we have the fabulous Sam with us from the UK that also we love hearing from you. Let's hear from you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
You can hear me. Okay, fab. I just wanted to say, first of all, Eddie, I hope it's okay, but I've pinched one of your quotes just to keep me focused, which is too afraid to try, then you will fail. So I'm going to have that and put it on my mood board. But in a way, I lost 2 babies. I am a mother of 9, and I was stillbirth children. And me being a spiritualist knew that they had come for a reason. Okay, so this might sound a little bit morbid, so I do apologise. When their ashes come home, one was born on Christmas Day 2009 and the other one was 2012 in April. But when their ashes came home, I sat them on my table and I was feeling a failure as a mother for not being able to protect them and hold them on and to be able to give them the life that they should have had. And was in a really, really dark place. And I sat with a pen and paper and was just like, you need to tell me why you came here, and started writing away. So after my daughter died on Christmas Day 2009, I wrote some, like tarot cards, oracle cards? Like affirmation cards type things. I wrote some of them, which all of a sudden, every day I do clients in the UK. I'm like the mediums over in America, but an English one. And every day those cards are used, and the amount of positive feedback that's come back from them has made her passing successful in a different type of way, if you can understand that. And then when I lost my son in the April, I did exactly the same. And I started writing. Next thing you know, I'd written a book, which was my first ever book. And it got to number 3 at the particular time on Amazon. And then a director from America, from Hollywood, and an English director got together. And then I was in a film last year from that. But also a UK director got hold of my book and made a TV program out of it.
Wow.
those losses of my children, which, like I
Wow.
said, were my biggest failures, I then carried on writing, never went to school, very much like Eddie. I hated bullies, but would have to beat a few up if they were bullying people. Teachers hated me because I was gobby, I was outspoken. I haven't changed, I'm still the same. But those two biggest failures to me have become, other than my 7 children that are living, my 2 greatest successes. And from that, I've now written 2 books. I'm writing the 3rd. I write for loads of UK magazines, but one of those has just hit Barnes and Noble in the States, and I'm one of the writers. So from that, I've just had more successes, and it all originates from my 2 children that I lost. So there is always a positive in something. So it's something that you've all really got to, if you ever feel that you're turning negative, you've got to find your positive in that negative. And that's why I'm keeping Eddie's quote, because, you know, I'm not too afraid to try, but sometimes that trying to me gets a little bit hard and a bit difficult. Not yet on this journey, because all of you wonderful people. So I'm going to be looking at that always, because I will not fail. And that's going to be my little motto that I'm going to be working from. So thank you, Eddie. And I hope it's okay that I can pinch it.
Wow, what a beautiful, wow, what a beautiful, 1 second, let me hear myself double here. There we go. I want to say beautiful, and I'll allow myself to say beautiful story, because, just to hear it, literally, you took us through the whole journey of showing what your idea, and I love that you said what your idea of a failure was, because when I listen to it, it doesn't sound to me like you're a failure whatsoever. What kind of control did you have over a stillborn baby? None. That's out of your control. But from your perspective, and this is great because it shows us how sometimes the things that we think in our mind, they're not even, nobody else can relate to them like we can, and they determine how we see the world. So coming back to your story, you were determining this as your biggest failure. You said that a couple times on this, as you were speaking, my biggest failures. And then they were the stepping stones to what you view as your biggest success. I mean, that is exactly what we've been talking about from the beginning, and just giving it a live and breathing story. And I truly believe that I can speak, but when someone presents a story, a lifetime, an experience, that can stay with us forever. It really has an impact. I will take your story with me.
Babies have put me where I am now. I've been a spiritualist since the age of 13. I'm 50 in a few months. So 37 years I've worked with spiritualism, but I went to a place where I didn't want to be anybody and I didn't want to be around, but all of a sudden it re-woke, should I say, my seed of life, and has allowed me to grow and grow and grow. So when my husband bought this course and said, "Here, I've got you this for Christmas, you're doing it," I was like, oh my God, okay, that's just another branch that I've got to bring out of me now and, allow it to grow to its full potential. So here I am.
Awesome. Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. Always wonderful.
Thank you so much for sharing. Always wonderful.
I have to mute you when I speak because there's a feedback directly from your computer. But if you want to speak, then you can always unmute yourself and I will be quiet. Anne, the lovely Anne. We'll listen to Anne and then we'll wrap it up for the day.
Hello, Sam, I just wanted to say, I'm so sorry to hear about your children. You still in 9 too, like 9. You're in a big family. I come from a big family, and I've lost my son 2 years ago. And I'm writing a book too. And it's about halfway there, about the entire experience, the entire journey of a kidney transplant. I gave him a kidney in 2012. That didn't last 2.5 years, and then it didn't, he just got sicker, and eventually open heart surgery, and then an amputation, double. It would have been both his legs, but he didn't want that. He had 2 cuts, two amputations in one leg within 2 months. It was just unreal, all of it. So he wanted me to, sorry?
It's sending love and healing to you.
Thank you. He wanted me to write, though. He said, because he knew I loved to write anyway, and he said, do it from my own perspective, from what you're feeling through all of this, Mom, rather than from, but I'm doing it from both. I mean, he's not here and he's fine with that, I know, but it's just that was so much.
Yeah, do you know what?
But this
though?
is inspiring me to do that, though, to get this
You know
on the go, to get this, you know.
Do you know them meditations? Do you know, like when we say about doing like a 10-minute meditation,
I
call him,
know, I gotta get it.
ask him to show you the way.
Uh-huh.
You know,
We're just,
that-
my boyfriend and I are just delving into exactly that type of thing. And still not sure whether I'm even into it, but you know, it's just something that we're looking at, that type of thing. Yeah.
oh,
But I do
inbox if
feel-
you need any help.
I'd like to get your email or something, actually. I hope everybody, speak with everybody, because we relate to what we experienced, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So, and I think it is a propellant for getting us moving forward too, in a lot of ways, because I didn't have the freedom for 3 years, or even 8 years, I might as well say, to be able to do that without worry all the time, you know.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, and he chose to stop dialysis. So
Because that was him. He was ready, wasn't he? You know, and I know it's
That was
hard
it.
for those. I said he was ready. You know, that's why he
Oh,
stopped. And I know
absolutely.
it's hard for us that are left behind, but we've got to accept, you know, our loved ones' wishes, whether or not we want to or not. But again, you're finding your positive on your book journey, which is beautiful.
Yes, and he also, you know how when people decide on something like that, it's like similar to, I mean, well, suicide, I guess, in a way. But he felt horrible about that. But he said he really wanted his family and his daughter, who's 60, she's 18 now, to move on, because of everything that was going on with him was dragging everybody down, and I'm a burden and all this. And I said, Steve, you're not a burden. But he'd say, you know, I'm a burden. Anyway, yeah, he did say that he felt really like a cop-out loser type of thing, and not. I said, Steve, do you have any idea what kind of a courageous decision you're making right now? I said, that applies to only you and no one else, you know. And yeah, he did that. He did make the decision, and this is where we are afterwards, right? We survive.
You
And we carry
survive,
on.
and he lives on within you, and
Yes.
it helps you to grow and to you to fly. And it's as
Mhm.
though he's with you every day and never left your side, because you're doing
There you
something that he wanted you to do.
Yes.
So you're walking
Yeah.
different dimensions, but walking together.
Yes, I got you. Yeah, I got you. Feels good. Thank you so much. I just wanted to say thank you, and especially to everybody here too, because like I can actually let this out and not feel too bad. I managed to get it out without, you know, but yeah, so it's great that we can have this place to do that for
We love
different
you.
things and for different reasons, especially
love you. We
moving
love you.
forward reasons. Right. So great. Thank you.
We love you so much, Anne, and I see you as so brave and so courageous, and just, you know, everything that you do, and you move forward with a smile, and you inspire others, and you're helpful, and you're kind, and you're caring towards everyone around you. And I know your journey, because we've been here together for a while now. And, you know, I just want to end this whole conversation on a good, positive note. You know, we look at our life occurrences, whatever they may be. And, you know, even listening to Anne and to Sam might give us some perspective of what we feel like, you know, is heavy in our life. You know, it just gives us this perspective. And then what is possible for us? What is possible? We're moving through all of these, you know, challenges, offerings, opportunities, you know, perils, whatever is coming our way. We're moving forward. Remember that book is called Failing Forward. We're moving forward. We're actively choosing to move forward, because there can be the downward spiral, just like Anna and Sam were talking about. You can downward spiral. We are actively choosing every day to move forward, to step one foot in front of the other, and, you know, focus on our long-term goal and just keep moving towards it. And if along the way we have some, you know, we fumble and fall, or we trip just a minute, we are always going to get right back on the horse and create the dreams that we desire, because we deserve it and we're worthy, and today is the day. So thank you all for joining. Deborah, I hope, you know, this was helpful for your question. We have to wrap it up. Okay.
It was. Thank you very much. And I will wait to suggest something next time.
There we go. I was opening
This is great. It's great.
We couldn't get there, and I have a call that I'm already late for, but
All
you
right.
know, this was important, and it was great. And thank you so much for offering that. I want to say before I hang up, if anybody needs help from the students, then I'm going to end this call, and then you can hop back into the same link and have some help there. And if you want to chat between you all and just share, then you can. I look forward to seeing you all on Tuesday. Have a great rest of